Call our meeting to order. First up tonight, we have a proclamation for Mr. Charles Elder Event Center. Whereas the Jackson County Board of Commissioners recognizes the extraordinary contributions Charles R. Elders has made to Jackson County, and whereas Charles R. Elders was elected and served faithfully as the District 1 representative on the Jackson County Board of Commissioners from 1994 to 1998 and 2010 to 2018, serving as vice chairman from 2016 to 2018. And whereas Charles R. Elders was a dedicated public servant and advocate for the citizens of his district and the citizens of the county, and whereas Charles R. Elders worked on many important building projects throughout the county and served on numerous boards and committees during his time as county commissioner. And whereas the Jackson County Board of Commissioners is grateful for his service and dedication Charles R. Elders has demonstrated to Jackson County. Now therefore be it resolved by the Jackson County Board of Commissioners that the event center to be located at 271 Clearwood Drive, Whittier, be named the Charles R. Elders Event Center. Is there a motion to approve this proclamation?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. We do have a certificate if Mr. Stevens wants to come up. If not, it's up to you.
Don't know about the mystery part.
Wow, come on. Thank you for coming up. Just a copy of this proclamation signed today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can I say a quick word?
Sure.
Okay. All right, my name is Roy Stevens. My mother, Jean Elders Stevens. My mother, Charles' dad, Raymond Elders, the brother and sister, that's how I'm kin to Charles. When I was a little boy, up that high, I was rocking in the rocking chair one day, against a very hot wood stove, and ended up turning over and going into that wood stove. And Charles Elders, he happened to be there to peel me off that day. Side of my face, that stove. But anyhow, I grew up early. I grew up ugly. Still got that scar. That scar drawn down into just my chin area there. But thanks to Charles, I got to grow up. You know, I'm glad Charles was there that day. Peel me off of that stove. So I appreciate him, kinfolk, family. Appreciate all the people. And on his behalf, I just say thank you. Appreciate everything. Thank you. Thank you.
Moving on now to the approval of the agenda. We do have one thing that we need to remove, and that's item 6, resolution R25-02. We'll remove that from the agenda tonight. So with all things being, do we need to amend for number 7?
You need to amend it now.
You can do that now, or you can do it during the motion when you accept it.
We'll just wait.
Wait to the motion. I'll seek a motion for approval.
So moved, Chairman.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Going on now to our minutes. We have our regular session and our work session from February 4th. If there are no needs for any amendments, I'll seek a motion for approval of those sets of minutes.
I make a motion to approve those minutes.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to the chairman's report. Inclement weather is on the way. Get your pets in tonight and tomorrow night. Other than that, I have nothing to report. Do any other commissioners have anything to report this week?
Related, school's delayed 2 hours tomorrow.
Yep.
That's all I have.
We'll move on now to county manager report. Mr. King.
And I do not have anything today to report. We've kind of been talking budget today. We'll say that. We had a budget retreat and it went very well. And looking forward to that process.
A few people signed up tonight. Brooklyn?
Hi, everybody. So, I was just given the news that the skate park is approved for the July budget. Is that correct? Thank you. Thank you.
Michael Redmond? Good evening.
Hi, and good evening. Sorry, I wanted to make sure that I had the timer so I didn't.
Okay.
All right. My name is Michael Redmond. I'm a resident of Whittier, North Carolina, here in Jackson County. And you may remember, some of you, a few months ago, I came and spoke to the commissioners on behalf of my partner, Tracy Fitzmaurice, who at the time had been the victim of some very, very, very slanderous lies in the community. And I wanted to I'm sure it's been brought to your attention already, since there was a piece about it in the Silva Herald, a letter allegedly written by Jim Gaston and sent from his wife's Macon County email address that is now public, that details a plan to secretly break up the Fontana Regional Library System with the assistance of both the Macon County Commissioners and the Jackson County Commissioners. It reads in part, leaving the FRL needs to be discussed extensively by commissioners in Macon and Jackson behind the scenes, with the surprise decision to leave when the time comes. I said that the people that were behind this push had lied to you before, had lied to the community. This continues this same pattern. Let me be clear, the people behind this do not care about this community. They don't care about the people living in it. And even and equally as important, they don't care about you as county commissioners. What they want you to do is to ignore North Carolina's state sunshine laws. They want you to engage in behavior that is unethical at best and potentially illegal at worst. Who do you think will bear the cost of that? It will be the commissioners who approve this tactic. Later on, they say commissioners from Jackson and Macon should have all their economic reasons well organized before the decision. Apparently, the same people not only feel free lying about members of the community and to the community, but also view us with contempt, since they think that we would be stupid enough to believe that after a 2-year push to break up the FRL system, all of a sudden it's for economic reasons. There is always the possibility that some of the current library staff will give the community a big middle finger and just walk away and quit rather than become staff at a newly created independent library. Another lie in misrepresentation. The men and women who work at the library are dedicated public servants. I would ask you tonight to, one, disavow this tactic completely. I would also ask, and publicly, disavow it. I would also ask you to let the citizens of Jackson County know when you plan on standing up for them and not let lies be told about them and not letting their work ethic and their dedication to the other citizens of Jackson County be questioned. This is not a time for silence. Voters will remember whether or not you spoke up or were quiet tonight. Thanks.
Miss Antoinette McQuat. Good evening.
I wish I were as eloquent as Michael was, but I'm not. Thank you for letting me speak tonight, and good evening, commissioners. I readily admit to being a one-trick pony. Every time you've seen me, and you may be tired of that, this is my third visit, and I'm always here to talk about the library. My personal interest in libraries has been a single thread throughout my entire life, as a child, as a mother of children, as a librarian, as a citizen of this county. It's the one, I couldn't speak to any of the other things on your agenda tonight because I have no knowledge about any of it, and I trust you. I trust that's why you were elected, is to make these decisions for us. But I do know about libraries, and I know about serving children, and I know about the needs in a community to have a good and functional library. I too am going to speak about the article that showed up in the Herald this week. It seems like the most opportune time to bring it up. And in my opinion, Jim Gaston and his flock have made a mockery of the word transparency. I don't know how many times I heard that word bandied around in library board meetings and here, transparency. And at the heart of that email that he sent out was the call to be as untransparent as you can possibly be so the rest of us don't realize what's going on. Which, by the way, I didn't really get involved in this until about 2 years ago, but it's been a work that's been going on and planned by people long before then. So I'm late to the dance. I think a lot of Jackson County residents are now aware through this article in the paper of what has been behind all of it, and that has been to break up this Fontana Regional Library and put the libraries in the hands of the counties. That sounds like, sure, we want our county to be in charge. But Chairman Lutzen, Mr. Jones, and Mr. Gaston himself have admitted that financially it is not going to work. That particularly Swain County, a very small county, would never be able to support a viable community library. So what I ask you to do is to have them, that you ask everybody to address their concerns in public, either here, in emails, that you let us know when these things are going to come up, that you give every citizen an opportunity to speak and understand what the ramifications of leaving a regional library system would be for small counties. And I really say we're not the most affluent counties in the state of North Carolina either. We need this. We need the grants. We need the other things that come with being a regional library system. If Mr. Gaston and the folks try to have you prove that we have failed financially with FRL, then I think that will be fabricated out of whole cloth, because that is not true. Thank you. I'm sorry I ran a minute over. Thank you.
Mr. Clark. Moving on now to our consent agenda and our finance report from Ms. Fox.
I'll go over the highlights for the month of January. The general fund revenues collected to date, $61,232,733. That's 61.06% of budget. The general fund expenditures to date, $55,994,124. That's 57.45% of budget. The revenues at this point are $5,238,609 more than the expenditures. The ad valorem taxes collected are at 95.43% of budget at $43,215,579. The motor vehicle taxes, $1,048,450. That's 50.34% of budget. The prior year taxes collected is $203,644. It's 40.72% of budget. We received the sales and use tax distribution. For the month of January, which represented October sales, that amount was $1,792,833. That amount is $117,419.07 less than the amount we received in January of 2024. The Article 46 distribution was $195,272.48. The average for the increase for the fiscal year at this point is a negative 0.32%. The next month was above average for the collections. Landfill disposal fees collected is $2,740,787. That's 85.84% of budget. And the prior year landfill disposal fees, $31,435. That's 39.29% of budget. Value Health second quarter finance report is attached. They had total revenues of $796,176,890 and expenditures of $790,947,002, with a net income of $5,229,988. The operating cash available is $289,932,789, and their spendable cash at the end of December was $200,472,688. The growth revenues tracking, the planning at the end of January was 25.83% below average. The code enforcement was 9.97 above. Environmental health, 10.98% below, and the rescue fees is 3.81% above the average. The general fund contingency at the end of January balance was $888,348.10. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board regarding the finance report?
Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Henson for our tax collector and refund reports.
Good evening. So for January, the current taxes collected were $6,550,620. Delinquent taxes collected for the month were $31,199. The total collected for the month of January was $6,865,491.25. Refunds were $1,505.08, and the releases were $1,866.16. Any questions?
Questions by the board?
Thank you.
If not, I'll seek a motion to approve finance report and tax collector and refund reports.
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to new business and our audit contract with Martin Starnes and Associates. Ms. Fox.
Have the contract audit the accounts for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025 with Martin Starnes and Associates CPAs. The total not to exceed cost is $128,600.
By the board, this is the same one we've used for a good
Several.
long time,
It
and
is.
they do a good job with our audits. It's hard to find audit accountants, but
They're located in Hickory, North Carolina.
There- motion to approve the audit contract for Martin Starnes and Associates.
Motion to approve.
All right, a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed.
Thank you.
Moving on now to number 5 is resolution for homestead exemption. And
So this is a resolution requesting the North Carolina General Assembly to create a homestead exemption for citizens that have declared Jackson County as their permanent residence and year-round residence. Basically, what this does is it just ask the General Assembly to look at ways that they can put in a homestead exemption that would, if you have your primary residence, would be $50,000 or 50% value, which is ever is greater, for people that have declared Jackson County as their permanent residence. So that's the gist of it.
And the state would come up with the rules governing who would be.
Yeah, there's already a homestead exemption in place. It would just expand that to include residents. Right now, it's disabilities and age, but it would expand that whole realm of it.
No action needed. We just need, well, we need to vote on it, and then
Yeah.
we'll send this to the state.
Correct, yes.
Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to construction risk management. And Mr. King.
So, during the budget process, we talked about all the different projects that we have slated for this year. Fairview Elementary, Blue Ridge Elementary, the athletic field at the Smoky Mountain High School, the new middle school, the administration building, and the law enforcement for the Justice Center. And so with that said, we were looking at getting a construction manager at risk. And so back in December, we sent out RFQs and received 2 bidders. One of the bidders was not qualified, the other one was, and it was Vanoy Construction. And so at this point, I would ask the board to approve us going through the process of the contractual stage of approving Vanoy Construction as the primary construction manager at risk for those projects.
Is there a motion to approve Vanoy as our construction manager at risk?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve Vanoy.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Okay. Moving on now, we've stricken resolution number 6 off. So resolution number 7, and there was a need for an amendment on this resolution.
I'd like to seek an amendment to add, to make it a partisan election for the school board. This is moving it so it's effective for next year's, or, yeah, the 2026 election cycle. It was supposed to have been that way to begin with, and they messed up the date. So this just corrects the date, and I'd like to amend it to include partisan, make it a partisan election. So we'd have partisan primaries and then a partisan election in the fall, along with the general election.
Is there a motion to approve it with that amendment?
I make a motion.
Okay. A second?
Second it.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Jennings,
Yes.
Chairman Letson.
Yes. And then next up, we have number 8, a resolution, R25-04 for the Arthur Wade Bridge. Mr. King, do you want to?
You should just stand up here.
Oh, yeah.
Get your chair.
Sorry. So we brought this up during the work session, basically requesting North Carolina Department of Transportation to name bridge number 28 located in Whittier, North Carolina, the Arthur Wade Bridge, in honor of by designation and erection of signage. Basically, it talks in here about Mr. Wade was born in Browning, Montana in 1947, moved to Whittier, North Carolina in 1950, and attended Whittier Elementary School and Swain County High School, graduated in 1965. Arthur Wade faithfully served his country in the United States Army, 9th Infantry Division in the Republic of Vietnam, and was awarded 3 Purple Hearts for his injuries obtained during combat. Received the National Defense Service Medal as well as Vietnam Campaign Medal. And whereas Arthur Wade began employment with the Soil and Water Conservation for Jackson and Swain County in 1972, in which he was employed for 34 years. Whereas Arthur Wade was a member of the Eastern Manichoki Indians, and where Arthur Wade loved to help people and exemplified that by going on mission trips to Honduras, Romania, and all over the United States, building churches and helping those in need, as well as attending to the missions. work within his community by repairing churches free of charge, visiting the sick and elderly, transporting many people to the doctor, especially those battling cancer, transporting people to work during the winter. He also scraped the roads as they could not get out. Whereas Arthur Wade was a Boy Scout leader who taught the boys how to work the land, to do good deeds, and all about God. And whereas Arthur Wade was a dedicated member of his church, where he sang in the choir, was a group leader for the boys, taught Bible school, helped with Christmas programs, and picked up many people to bring them to church on a regular basis. And where Arthur Wade helped lay out the farmland for Darnell Farms, Shelton Farms, and Cochran Farms. Now therefore be it resolved, the Jackson County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaim and honor Arthur Wade for his bravery, fortitude, and service to the United States of America and Jackson County. And be it further resolved, the Jackson County Board of Commissioners hereby respectfully request the North Carolina Department of Transportation to dedicate the bridge located in Whittier, North Carolina, number 28, in honor and memory of Arthur Wade by erecting the appropriate signage designated this honor.
Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Jennings,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Hooper,
Yes, sorry, I thought you said Jenny.
Oh. Chairman Letson.
Yes. All right, moving on now to appointments. First up, we have the Equalization and Review Board. These are 5 individuals who have been serving on this board, and with the reevaluation, Miss Ash from the tax office, our tax administrator, requests that these 5 individuals remain on the board. It's Mr. Richard Robeson as chair, Robert T. Edwards as vice chair, Roger M. Bartlett, David A. Noland, and Norman West. Is there a motion to approve the 5 individuals for the Equalization and Review Board? I know Rick and Robert.
I know.
Richard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Moving on now to Richard, Region A Aging. Sarah Jane Melton is the Region A AAA Director, requested to reappoint Sue Evans to an additional 3-year term on the Region A Aging Advisory Council. Is there a motion to approve Ms. Evans?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to Tourism Development Authority. We've got a few nominees for one position. Is there a motion for any of the nominees? Ms. Peters, Ms. Busick, Mr. Collins, and Mr. Falk. I can make the motion for
Well,
Mr. Collins.
I don't know. Kenny? I mean, I don't know. Okay, yeah.
I'll make a motion for Mr. Collins to serve on that position.
I don't know him.
I'll second that.
All in favor, or was there any other nominations?
I don't know.
I'll make a motion for John Falk.
Okay. Is
I
there a
know him.
second? Is there a second for Mr. Falk?
I'm fine with either one of them, so
Are we pointing 1 or 2?
just one.
Oh,
I know John, I don't know Dale.
We have a motion and a second on Dale. We want to do a roll call vote, or do we want to do an all in favor vote? Let's do a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hooper,
this is for who?
This is for Dale.
I don't know him. No.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Jennings,
Yes.
Chairman Letson.
Yes. Okay. Just so we can kind of clear the air, there's been a lot of miscommunications about things within the FRL and the letter. At this time, Jackson County is not engaged in trying to get out of the FRL agreement. We've spent thousands of dollars working towards a resolution, and we're not meeting in secret with anyone regarding that. So I know Macon, last I heard, was not meeting to discuss exiting as well. So this is just an individual who's kind of put out something, which is fine. But just know that Jackson County is still within the FRL agreement, and we're not leaving. With a motion, we do have a need for closed session tonight, and it would be legal and business expansion. So if there's a motion for closed session,
So moved.
and a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? closed session, there was no action taken. With no further business, quick reminder that we have a regular meeting on the 4th and a work session on March 4th as well. And then our regular meeting at Boston Fire Department is on March 18th. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. We are adjourned.